Hello, everyone, and welcome to the conversation. I am so excited and so glad that you have come to join us on this evening to join the conversation. The conversation is a place where we can have open, transparent conversations and discussions. The conversation was designed so that the community, so the audience, so you would not feel alone and by yourself, because I know certain things or certain experiences that we go through, we feel that we're by ourselves. We feel like we're alone, or we would find ourselves suffering in silence. And so the conversation was designed for you, for me, for our guests, designed so that we can have community, so that we can talk about certain issues or certain experiences that we go through. And again, and know that we're not by ourselves. And we want you to know that you are not by yourself. The conversation is a place where we break strongholds. We bring awareness, we bring education, and we also it helps us along our healing journey. Some things that we don't know that we have that issue, or we don't know that we might suffer or have that challenge until someone else speaks about it, and then we go, well, wait a minute, that relates to me, or I see myself in that also. So it's just really good to have that community, to be together and know that we're not by ourselves. So again, I just want to welcome you all to the conversation. I am your host, Andrea B. Flintroy. Welcome. Now, I do have some TC community members. I want to say hello to all my members. And if you're like, well, wait a minute, she ain't say hey to me. If you want to be a TC member, look, you can join by three ways. Just like the conversation, share the conversation, and make a comment. Because one thing about the conversation, this is not only a discussion between myself and my guest, but also it is a conversation with you guys, because you are the audience and the conversation has been created and designed for you, to help you. So chime in. You got any questions? You got some things that the guest might say? You're like, hey, that's me. Or if you want to give her an amen, go ahead. Amen her in the chat. All right. But without any further ado, I just want to welcome my guest, Miss Donna Cole. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the conversation.
Happy Thursday.
Yes, happy Thursday. So,
Yes.
okay, community, let me give you a little bit about Donna Cole. She is the proud mother of two sons. She has her bachelor's in social work, and she has a master's. She has a double master's, one in social work and another one in psychology. She has been working with children and the youth for over 20 years. She is a proud member of the Calvary Missionary Baptist Church. Okay, look at we representing West Monroe, Louisiana. She is a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, and she is a part of numerous community agencies in the community. She loves to help. She loves to be supportive. She loves to be a servant. She does volunteer work. She is an advocate, and she works in the Richland Parish school system. So she definitely knows that she has a heart for the people. She has a heart for the people. She loves to serve the people. Like I said, she's just a servant. And so who better to come on and talk to us you know, about certain things in the conversation. So I hope y'all are ready for the conversation. Let me see if y'all are ready. Uh-oh. Somebody said, go ahead, Miss Donna.
Okay.
Yeah. So they hyping you up in the comments. They giving you all the love. All the love. Yes. Yes, indeed. So, okay, Miss Donna. So, can you tell the conversation community how you overcame depression and what are some challenges that you did have in your journey?
I would say my number one challenge was hiding it.
Mm.
That was my number one challenge. And the reason why I chose to hide it was very simple, because I'm a single mother. And in raising children, you have to show up, like my shirt says, she shows up. You have to show up and always be your best self. Even
Mhm.
though as parents, we try to shield things from our children, we try to hide things from our children, we try to keep children in a children's place. At least I do. But
Mhm.
little did I know, my sons were always paying attention. They would notice things that were kind of off kilter sometimes. They would notice when mama just really wasn't herself. And at the time they were much younger, and so
Yeah.
my younger son would always, it just seemed like at the right time he would just always come to me, just hug on me, give me extra love, extra attention. It's like he felt, that something was off, even though I was trying to mask it by always smiling, always showing up at their appointments, always showing up at their games, practices, all of that stuff, still showing up being mama, because that's who they know me to be. But little did
Yeah.
I know, they were still able to pinpoint when mama wasn't quite mama. So I guess my biggest,
Mm.
again, was hiding it. I thought that I was doing such a good job of hiding it, not only from myself, because for a long time I was in denial.
Ooh.
And I had to realize that I was in denial. I had to realize that the place and space that I was in at that time was very real. And so it's like, the light bulb went off, and I had a major aha moment. And it was like, okay, it's time for you to get yourself together, get your
Uh-huh.
ducks in a row, put your boots on, lace them up, and let's do the work. And
Yeah.
I had to do the work. And in doing the work, it was messy, it was hard, it was complicated, it was challenging.
Mhm.
And a lot of days I just did not have anything to give to myself, let alone
Mm.
children, let alone to my family, let alone to my friends, my job, my community, my church, any other organization that I was affiliated with. They were getting bare minimum,
Ooh.
bare minimum. And it came to a point to where I was literally running on fumes. And if any of you are familiar with, cars or anything like that, or in just life, period, you know that there comes a point to where you are literally running on fumes.
Yeah.
And one day, like, life just really knocked me down, and I could not move. The only thing that I could do was lay in my bed and call again my baby son to come and help me get dressed.
Whoa.
Get dressed. I managed to make it to the after hours clinic. Nobody but God, because at that time my baby couldn't drive and my oldest son wasn't here. So it was nobody but God that drove me to that clinic. And I tell you, when I got there, like, I was like, had to prop myself up because I was just that weak. Took me to the back, checked my vitals. Of course, my numbers were not where they were supposed to be. They started
Mhm.
fluids and things in me, and like instantly, I felt better. My body was literally shutting down on me. My body was literally in pain.
Mm.
I had pushed myself to the limit and beyond the limit, because I didn't want anybody to know. Not Donna Cole, not the Donna Cole, not, Jalen and Mikey's mom, not so and so's daughter, not so, like, no, not her. And so I had to get all of that out of my head and be
Yeah.
like, it's me. It's me. I was my own worst critic. I
Yeah.
was my own worst enemy. It did not matter what anybody else around me was saying. It did not matter how much people said you were pretty, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're this, you're that. You have so many people looking up to you, because when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see any of those things.
Mm.
I did not see any of those things. And I come from a family where my family has always uplifted and supported me in anything that I have done. Always speaking positivity, always showing up, always supportive, encouraging, all of those things. So
Yeah.
it wasn't my family. It wasn't my friends. It was me. It was me. And I had to learn that no matter how much other people pour into you, if you're not pouring into yourself, it's no good.
Woo!
It's no good.
Woo! Come on, come on, come on, Donna. That's preaching. You preaching now. You preaching good now.
The smile that you see every day, the glow that you see every day, even in my darkest moments, this was the only thing that I had. This was
Mm.
thing that got me through. And when people ask me, why do you smile so much? I say because it's the one thing that even in my darkest moments, I always had. Even when my mom was laying on her deathbed, I always found something to smile about. I always found something, to give me joy and to give me hope. Even in my lowest moments, I would think about my two boys, and that would be just this much to just keep me going, just this much. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't, I could have had all the money in the world. I could have had the best house, the best car, the best whatever. But once I got home, pulled up in the driveway, hadn't even gotten out the car. Once I got home, like all of that just went out the window. And it's like I
Mm.
could finally breathe. I could finally go back into my shell, go back into my cocoon, and be the depressed person that I was. Because that's who I was. I
Yeah.
wasn't the happy go lucky, bubbly person that everybody saw from 8 to 4:30. I
Hmm.
really wasn't that person. I wore a mask 5 days a week from 8 to 4:30 just because I didn't want anybody asking me, well, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Or why are you complaining about this? Or why are you talking
Ooh.
about this? And then it's not for everybody to understand. So
Yes.
whatever journey you're on, whatever path you're on, it's not for everybody to understand, because the truth is sometimes you're not going to even understand. Sometimes you're going to look up and you're going to question God and ask God, why me? Why are you taking me through this? Why am I suffering? Why do I have all these degrees and can't get a job? Why do I look the way that I look and I can't get a man or can't get a woman? Why, do I have this perfect credit score, but I still can't get the house that I want or the
Hmm.
car that I want? Why is it that I'm taught, to act a certain way, dress a certain way, talk a certain way? But when I get out here in society, none of those things matter. And that's crushing. That's crushing because you have been taught all of these things all of your life, and you're sitting there. And when you get on social media, you see people who don't look like you, who are not as educated as you, who are not as poised as you. And then there you go back into that slump again, because
Hmm.
it makes you question yourself instead of looking at yourself and appreciating the person who you do see in the mirror.
Mm. All, all, all of the things. That's all I can say. I'm like all of the things. All of the things. So tell me this. When was the moment that you realized that you were depressed or that you was going through depression?
So that moment came, again, something, that I was doing with the boys, and I snapped at one of them, and it was like I instantly checked myself, like, whoa, wait a minute, like this is not you. And
Yeah.
of course, in your mind, when you think depression, you think laying in the bed, light
Mhm.
off, cover over your head.
Mhm.
You're not getting up brushing your teeth. You're not watching, like you're not doing anything. But
Mhm.
mine was the total opposite of that. So I had to really sit down and look at myself and look at my pattern of behaviors. And
Mm.
at the time, my pattern of behaviors was I had started to eat a lot.
Mhm.
I had started to not really let my appearance go, but I wasn't, like it was just like, okay, whatever. Like if anybody knows me, they know that I take time. It takes time to look like this. It takes
I know that's right.
to, put some effort into my outfits,
Yes.
system here. It's a process, honey. Well, at that time, I wasn't going through the process. You know,
Mhm.
I would put on something that was wrinkled. I would put on like it just I didn't care.
Yeah.
And once I realized that I did not care, that was when I was like, okay, wait a minute. Because number one, your children don't deserve this. And
Mm.
it's not their fault that you're feeling some kind of way about yourself and about your life right now. So,
Mm.
regardless of what anybody outside of these four walls thinks, you got to get it together for your children. And so that
Mhm.
was it. When I snapped at my baby, and my baby looked at me like, well, what's wrong with you? Like,
Yeah.
that was the moment right then and right there that I began to do the work. And it was
Mhm.
so many layers of things that I had been carrying and harboring for years.
Yeah.
Years,
Yeah.
even going back to junior high and high school. Uh,
Mhm.
my weight has always been an issue. Weight has always been an issue for me. Um, and at that time, I was much smaller than I am now. But because I didn't look like my friends, I
Mm.
still thought that I was fat.
Yeah.
And I was nowhere near the size that I am now. Nowhere near. I probably was like maybe 110 pounds.
Mhm.
So now, in hindsight, like I was really small.
Yes.
But because I didn't look like them, again, in my mind, what's wrong with me? So
Mm.
that was from the age of 12 to 14, 15, all the way up until I had this epiphany 6 years ago. So this is not even something, that has been long standing. This
Yeah.
happened when I turned 40 years old. That
Mm.
was when the big light bulb came on.
Came on.
It kind of,
Yeah.
flickering, in my 30s. Now when I hit 30, a certain light bulb came on, and I had to put, my big girl outfit on and
Yeah.
do what I had to do to take care of some business at that time. So that was at
Mhm.
30. And then so from 30 to 40, I was in this place where I was trying to find out who Donna was.
Yeah.
Because for the first, 10 years of my adult life, I wasn't who I was supposed to be. I was
Mm.
who
That's
everybody else
good.
wanted and needed me to be. I was just going through the motions. You
Yeah.
need me to be daughter, I'm daughter. You need me to be granddaughter, I'm granddaughter. You need me to be mama, I'm mama. You need me to be the employee, I'm the employee. You need the friend, I'm the friend. You need the sister, I'm the sister. I was so busy being all of these things to all of these people and neglecting myself. A wife. At that time, I was a wife. So
Yeah.
all these things, and I was the
Mm.
most important person.
Yes. You know what? It is so funny that you say that because I go back. Well, I wanted to make the comment that that you are all the things for everybody, but nothing for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. And so I heard someone make this statement. They said if it's like four people in the room,
Mhm.
you, your mother, your child or your children, and let's say your best friend. Of everyone that's in the room, who is the most important person in the room?
Wow.
And
Wow.
so when I heard that, I was kind of puzzled because the mother in you want to say,
Right.
my
Right.
children are important. It's my children. And then it's this person and this. And that person was like, no, that's wrong.
Mhm.
You
Or
are the most
yeah,
important person in that room.
yeah.
Why? Because if you're not good, if you're not okay, if your health is not okay,
Right.
no one else is okay in that room. No matter how much you may help mama, no matter how much we serve and protect our children, no matter how much of we build our relationship with our sisters or our friends, the head domino is you. If
Ab-
you fall, guess what? Boom. Everybody else is going right behind you.
that's right. That's right. You cannot pour from an empty vessel.
Mm,
And
mm,
learned
mm.
every day that you have to refill that vessel. And what I have learned, what works for me, quiet time. I need quiet time. I need to come home and be in silence for
Yeah.
every day. Sometimes numerous times throughout the day, depending on what's going on and depending on how my day is. I have to have scents. I like, to smell things that smell good. So every day I come home, I light candles all throughout my house.
Ooh.
If I'm not lighting candles, I'm spraying room spray or something, because
Mm.
those scents help to calm me and help to
Mhm.
center me and help me to transition from being working Donna to Mama Donna.
Mm.
Those are just the things, that help me. I
Yeah.
try best to check work at the door before I come in,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't
Uh-oh, I think we lost Donna. So,
I don't need to bring those things home.
yeah.
Uh, and so, it's just little things like that. That's not something that's big. That's not something that, I pay a whole lot of money for, but it's something that works for me. I
Yeah.
pray a lot, I meditate a lot, and I have learned to find the joy and the positive things in every day. Do I have good days every day? No, I don't. Do I have
Mhm.
days I still don't want to get out of bed? Yes, I do. But I think about showing up for me, not so
Yeah.
much showing up for other people, but showing up for me. And once I show up for me, then I can show up for everybody else. And then I can
Mhm.
show up for them genuinely. I can
Yeah.
show up for them on full and not on negative E.
Yes.
Because negative E, that's when those fumes come in. That's when that smoke comes in. That's when that burning smell comes in. Because like you have
Yes.
exhausted everything and you are literally here by the grace of God.
Yes.
And so when I show up, I have to show up full. I can't show up half full. I can't show up, three-fourths full. I have to show up full. And showing up full starts with me.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with me. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it took me a long time to get to the person who you see in front of you today. And it's a daily thing. It's not like, oh, okay, I graduated, I got the certificate, so that's done. No,
Yeah.
it's a daily job. It takes work.
Mhm.
It's just like anything else, even with losing weight, even with once you do get your dream job, you have to still go to work. You still have to perform when you get to work. When you get that car that you want, you have to take the oil change, you have to do maintenance. There are a lot of things that you still have to do to maintain that certain lifestyle or maintain that certain mindset that you have.
And you are absolutely, you're right. You're so right, and that's so true. We had a couple of comments. Shaman says that she heard Fantasia say that what overflows from the cup is from for everyone else, but what's in the cup is for me. So
That's
I
right.
can serve you from my overflow, but I
Yeah,
can't give you what's in my cup.
that's right. That's right.
Hmm. Hmm. And then, what you say?
It starts with self. It starts with you.
Yes, and you're absolutely right. So, can you tell the community when was the moment where you were able to look at yourself, like just really look at yourself and say, "Girl, it's time for a change. It's time to get up, girl."
I would say probably about 14, 15 years ago,
Hmm.
I was the biggest that I had ever been in my life. And I contributed to everything that was going on in my life at the time. Recently divorced, mom recently diagnosed with cancer, you know, leaving the house where I was raising my children, moving into another house. I just had a life was really going. I was in grad school. Life was life and at that point, but not in a good way. And one
Yeah.
day I looked at myself in a mirror and I was like, who is this person?
Mm.
Who is this person? I could not even walk without getting winded.
Ooh.
I hated to even look in the mirror. Hated to look in the mirror. And I'm not a vain person. I'm not a conceited person. But, when I'm in a good place, I'm like, okay, you're cute.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling cute. I wasn't feeling pretty. None of that. I hated to look at myself.
Mm.
I hated for other people to look at me. So what did I do? Again, I put that mask on.
Yeah.
Even though it was already heavy, but I put on bigger clothes. And by putting on the bigger
Mm.
clothes, that made me look bigger than what I was. But I did that as a distraction because I didn't want anybody looking at me. Because again, I didn't want anybody asking me, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in my mind, it was, if I put on the baggiest things, if I put on something that's not as appealing, not as attractive, then nobody's going to look at me anyway, because even to them, I'm not attractive.
Mm.
That was the mindset that I had.
Yeah. So it's like you're hiding yourself
From
inside of,
everybody else. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, oh my goodness.
yeah, absolutely. Ab-
Mm-mm-mm. Oh my goodness. Okay. So can you give the community some encouragement about being a single mom? Because it's always this label or this stereotype of being a single mom. And can you give the community some encouragement about being a single mom? But then also, what are some challenges that you did have being a single mom?
the challenges are and were, as you stated, just being a single parent. It's it's
Hmm.
it's hard. It's hard when you are the only person making decisions, from the
Yes.
smallest decision to the grandest decision. Now, you may talk to family members, you may talk to friends, you may read books, listen to podcasts, or whatever. But even after consulting with all of these people, that final decision lies with you. You don't
Hmm.
have anybody, to bounce that off of, and kind of get their insight on it, and y'all maybe come to some type of agreement. Like,
Yeah.
what you say, that's it. And that's a huge responsibility, not only for you, but when you're dealing with other people's lives. That's huge. That's major.
That
So
is.
being the sole decision maker has always been, and still is, difficult to me, because I still question whether or not the advice that I'm giving is right, whether or not the path that I'm trying to lead them on or steer them in is right. And
Yeah.
I sit back and be like, okay, what you want them to do, you have to fit it for what they want for their lives, because it's not about
Mhm.
what you want for their lives. And as a parent, that's hard.
Ooh, I just want you to say that right there again.
Yeah.
Say that part again
As a
for the
parent,
person in the back.
yes, as a parent, whether you're a single parent or you have a two-parent household or you have that village helping you, you
Mhm.
have to remove yourself from your children's goals and dreams and aspirations of what you have for them. And you
Yes.
have to uplift, support, encourage the
Ooh.
aspirations that they have for themselves. They may fall and bump their heads. You may lose some money. You may lose some time. You may lose some sleep. But in order to help your child or your children pursue their goals and dreams that are realistic, because I teach my children to have realistic goals and dreams. And we're going through something right now with my baby son, and it's like, who are you?
Yeah.
Because you're not the person who I raised, like this person. But anyway,
Yeah.
that right there, removing yourself again and
Mhm.
seeing that person for who they are, and
Yeah.
and very strong will. He puts me in check all the time. He said, "Mama, you know, just because I'm not doing this the way that you want me to do it, that doesn't mean that it's not right."
Ooh.
And so I had to sit back and let that resonate with me, because
Uh-huh.
he's telling the truth.
That yes.
Just because we
You're
don't see
right.
eye, that doesn't mean that his thought process is wrong. That just
You're
means that
right.
we have two totally different thought processes.
Mm-hmm.
And as parents,
Mm-hmm.
We have to recognize that as the parent, we're
Mm-hmm.
not always right. And if
Yes.
we're teaching our children to go out in society and be productive citizens, we're teaching them to use their voice, number one. So,
Ooh.
voice can't be heard in his own home. Who's going to hear him outside of home?
I just want to, you know what? Mic drop. That was mic drop. That was a whole mic drop because you are absolutely right. If
Yeah.
we are silencing their voices in home,
Mm-hmm.
then like you said, who's going to hear their voice on the outside? And then also that's going to it's going to oh, I can't even think of the word I want to say. They're going to internalize it
Mm-hmm.
to where then they're not going to have their voice on the outside and they're not even going to believe that their voice have power. So
Absolutely.
now they have to go through a whole peeling back the layers and a healing process and on a journey just to discover their voice.
Their voice. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ooh, wee.
Absolutely. So, my encouragement for the people in the front, the middle, and the back
You
is
better say it.
you, to just be you, to just be your true authentic self. If people like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. You could be
Mhm.
a perfect 10 and somebody's going to have something to say. You could be a -0 and somebody's going to have something to say. But as long as you show up in your true authentic self, as long as you show up with purpose and intent, and as long as you show up wholeheartedly,
Mhm. Mhm.
question that. You can't even question yourself, because at the end of the day, you are accountable for your own actions, you are accountable for your words, you are accountable for how you treat other people. And we should never at any time allow our depression, our sadness, our grief, our anger, our frustration to delay our destiny.
Mm.
Instead, we should find positive things, surround ourselves with positive people who will turn that depression into divine destiny.
Mm. Oh, that was good. Say that again. Say that again. Say it again, Donna. Come on now.
Find positive people, positive places, positive things, positive experiences to turn your depression into divine destiny. That's my tidbit for tonight.
Look, I don't know conversation community. I don't know if you heard it. I don't know if you received it. But I must say that that was good to me. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Like they giving you so much love, so
Oh,
much love.
thank
Yes,
you. I
yes,
appreciate.
yes. Because everything you said was just awesome and
Thank
so wonderful.
thank you.
And you're right because a lot of the things that you talked about, we don't talk about. We don't talk about the challenges that we have when we're going through depression. A
Yeah.
lot of times, what we do is we just cover it up and we want to tell everybody, oh, look at me now. I'm
Yeah.
well put
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Look at me. But then let's talk about the valley that you went through. Let's
Oh,
talk about when you was in that place in the valley. What did it look like? What were those challenges? How the struggle that you had to wake up in the morning to make yourself get up, to put some clothes on, to brush your teeth, to just comb your hair, look at your face in the mirror.
hello. Hello.
Go
So I'm just gonna say this.
ahead. Go ahead now.
One thing that you said, what does it look like? So what it did look like for me at nighttime, crying myself to sleep every night.
Mm.
Crying myself to sleep every night. And once I did, try to get in myself in that mode, music is my thing. That's my thing. I don't care if I'm happy, sad, up, down, whatever. Music is my thing. So at that time, the song that I was listening to try to get back into, the groove, get back to where I needed to be was
Yes.
Better, Not Bitter by Jessica Reedy. I
I
listen to
remember.
that song every night. I let that song minister to me every night to pull me up out of that valley, to get me, up off my knees, not off my knees from a praying standpoint, but off my knees from just being down and feeling downtrodden and broken and bruised and all of those things, because that's what I felt like. I felt like I was broken. I felt like I was bruised. I felt like I was hurt. I felt like I was abandoned. I felt so many things because I just felt like the weight of the world was on
Mhm.
my shoulders. Like I said again, I was my biggest worst critic. I didn't need anybody else to say anything to me, because nobody could
Mhm.
tell me anything that I hadn't told myself.
Mhm.
And that's why it never mattered to me what other people said.
Yeah.
Call me my name. I've called myself out my name. Talk
Mhm.
about me, say this, say that. You can't say anything to me that I hadn't said to myself.
Yeah.
You know, like at this point, there's nothing that you could do to break me, because I'm already broken in so many pieces. Till
Mhm.
you trying to chip off one more layer, that's not gonna affect me, because I already got 1 million over here. What you taking that one more is gonna do?
Ooh.
Nothing. Nothing.
My, 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 my. My, my, my. Yes, indeed. Like you are so right. Everything that you're saying is so right. It's so true. And I just thank you for being open and being transparent to talk about the challenges that you went through with
Absolutely.
depression and and your weight and everything, because that's what we need. We need someone that's going to be open, that's going to be transparent, who's going to be real about this, because depression is real. These
Depression.
things are
Depression.
very much so real.
Yeah, it is. And it's not, just something that should be taken lightly. It's not
Mhm.
something that should be sugar coated or overlooked.
Yes.
Um, it's real. It's a clinical diagnosis. Even though I was not clinically diagnosed, I did not see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but because of common sense, because of self awareness, because
Mhm.
of me knowing myself and me knowing that I wasn't myself, I didn't
Yes.
need anybody to tell me the place and space that I was in, because I already knew. I
Mhm.
already knew. And I knew what I needed to do.
Yeah.
I prayed a whole lot. I cried a whole lot. Crying was
Mhm.
my therapy. Music
Yeah.
was my therapy. Prayer, meditation were my therapy. And that's what worked for me.
Yeah.
Now, had I really gotten to a point to where I could not have gone through the process on my own, I would have sought professional help. And
Mhm.
sometimes I even still consider that now. And I'm in a much better place now than I was then. But sometimes it does cross my mind, just to be able to just go and sit down and talk to someone, to just really assure myself that, okay, I am on the right track. I
Yeah.
did process this the right way. I am doing this the way that it should be done in order for me to get to that divine destiny. Because I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I ain't got there yet, but I'm on my way.
Yeah.
I'm on my way. And even along this journey, they're going to continuously bumps in the road. They're going to continuously be U-turns. They're going to continuously be stop signs, because
Yeah.
sometimes you just have to stop and just do nothing.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean that you're depressed. That doesn't mean that you're sad. That doesn't mean that anything is wrong. Actually, that means that everything is right, because you're able to stop. You're able to process what's going on around you in that moment. And you're able to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yes.
And all of those things are important. Being depressed is not a good thing to be. Being isolated is not a good place to be in. Being,
Mhm.
feeling like you're shunned and like you don't have
Mhm.
a voice, or like, you're sitting here, that you're sitting here, but you still feel invisible in a room full of people. That's
Mhm.
a place to be in. And it all
Mhm.
starts with our mind.
Yes.
And the mind is a very powerful thing. The mind can be a very positive thing as well as a very negative thing.
Mhm. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Um, and so I know that we're definitely talking about the symptoms of depression and what that can look like. Can you give us just a few clinical symptoms of what depression can look like, so other people can know, can be aware of what it looks like? And then also for the time frame, I know it's like, not like 1 or 2 days here, but this is like a continuous feeling throughout like 2 weeks or more, where you're in this same state.
Yes, you're in
So
a state of being for days, weeks, months on end. And
yes.
and it looks different for everybody. Like I said, if someone were to have seen me at that time, they wouldn't have known,
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't look the same for everybody. When we hear the word depression, we think, staying in the house, not going to work, not going to church, not going to school, not combing your hair, not taking care of your hygiene, not cooking, not eating. But for me, it was a total opposite. I still
Mm-hmm.
went out in the community. I ate more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I still kept up my appearance, but not to the level that I normally would have.
Yeah.
I was still putting on and masking and going and doing, pushing myself to the limit.
Mm-hmm.
But for some people, it's just you're totally isolated. You're
Yeah.
totally reserved. You don't want to deal with anybody. You don't want to talk to your best friend. You don't want to talk to your husband, your wife, your
Mm-hmm.
children. You don't want to talk to the dog.
Yeah.
That's how it is for some people. You're
Yes.
angry. The least little thing, sets
Mm-hmm.
you.
It's
You know,
true.
you're happy everybody. You're not eating. You don't sometimes you don't even want anything to drink.
Yes.
On the flip side of that, all you do is drink. You're
Yeah.
drinking alcohol. You're popping pills. You're drinking alcohol and popping pills. You're using illegal drugs. You're using sex. You're gambling. You're going on shopping sprees. You're just being very impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's always two sides to it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just that clinical, or that traditional, oh well, I'm just gonna isolate myself. I'm gonna lay in the bed all day and just stay balled up in my house coat with the shades down and the lights off.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always look like that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And that's why it's key to know yourself,
Yes.
awareness, self emotions, self-esteem, self-regulation, all of those things are important to know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you're absolutely right. And it's I too, I had went through a moment of depression also at the same time, and mine being like yours, because being a single mother, I did what I had to do, and that was get my son up for school, go to work. But it was like when I got home, my mind shut off, I shut off, and that's where I was. So I definitely can understand, you mask up going
Right,
out.
right.
So, I can hide it very well in front of anyone else because I'm a chameleon.
Right.
I've always said that, I've been taught to be a chameleon. That's a learned behavior. I
It
learned
is.
that quick,
Yeah,
you know, mask on. Let me go. And I've also been taught, I'm not supposed to look like what I'm going through.
absolutely.
And so as I was going through that, had to have a straight face, had to get ready.
Hmm.
But then at home, like you said, at night crying, balled up in a fetus position,
Right.
um, intrusive worrying thoughts, just all of the things.
All of
Not
that.
eating, just oversleeping, not sleeping enough, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and just wanting to be alone, not able to enjoy the things that I once did enjoy. I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
But of course, no one else knew because when they saw me,
Yeah. Mask on.
mask on.
Yeah.
Hmm. And the
Yeah.
only time when the mask really came off is when I had to look at myself. And it was like, so what you gonna do?
Right. What you gonna do? Hair
Mhm.
pulled back, no lashes, no lip gloss,
Ooh, yes.
no earrings, no fingernails, no fingernail polish, just
Mm. Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
And when you're able to be in that place, in that space, that's when your true healing begins.
Yes.
That's when the true journey begins. When you are able to be completely naked. And when I say naked, I don't just mean clothes off. I mean naked to where
Yeah.
you tell yourself the raw, uncut, uncut, unfiltered, uncensored truth.
Yes.
When you're able to sit in your own mess,
Yes.
go through that process, no matter how long it takes, clean up every layer, clean up every crack, clean up every crevice, do whatever it is that you have to get through that moment. It's not
Yeah.
going to be overnight because you didn't get there overnight.
Yes.
It's not going to be
True.
a week because you didn't get there in a week. Once you really sit down, get completely naked, and not just removing clothes, but removing thoughts, removing what's in your heart, removing what's in your mind, removing what's in your spirit, that's when your true journey begins.
Yes.
And along that journey, you're going to have people saying things to you. You're going to have people talking about you. You're going to have people questioning you, wanting to know, well, why are you doing this that way? Or why are you not doing it this way? Or why are you even doing that at all? Why are you putting your business out there? It's not about putting my business out here. It's about telling my story to help somebody who looks like me or who may not look like me. It's about me getting messages throughout the day and throughout the night saying, hey, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for,
Yes.
you saved my life.
Yes.
And I'm talking about people that I don't even know. And I just say to God be the glory because it's not me. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm very shy. I'm very shy. I'm a very behind the scenes person. I don't have to have my name on anything. If I do something, I do it. I don't need recognition. But for those people to say those things to me, that's powerful. And I just want them to know that that's God. It's not me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sitting here before you today because God chose to spare my life because he knows that those two boys needed me.
Yes.
You know, and I'm not saying that I was suicidal or anything like that because I wasn't. But in being depressed, I still was not living. I still was not thriving. I
Yes.
was merely existing. That's what I was just existing. But I was not living life. But
Yeah.
today I'm living life. Today I'm enjoying life. Today I look forward to the good days and the bad days.
Yes.
And I've just learned how to manage every day. I've learned how to manage every moment. I've learned how to say no and stick
Yes.
to no. I've learned how to be happy and I don't care who I make mad because I'm happy.
Yes.
I'm happy. I've
Yes.
learned how to be intentional. I've learned how to be purposeful. And I've learned how to just be
Yeah.
whatever that I need to be in that moment, in that place, in that space, at that time.
Yeah.
But whatever I be, it's intentional, it's purposeful, and I do it wholeheartedly.
Woo! Ooh, oh my goodness. Conversation community. Conversation community. I know you was blessed because I was blessed.
Thank you.
Donna, she done sit here and took us to church, took us home, and took us back to the church. Okay.
Oh,
Look,
so
you have
are,
definitely.
I just need to know if you're full. You know, I tried to give you the appetizer, the main course, a little
Come
dessert.
on now.
I just need to know if you're full. Because if you're not full, then I can keep serving. You know, I want you to leave my table well satisfied. I want you to feel like the time that you have spent with me was
Yeah.
well worth it.
Yes. Yes. It was. It was. And look. Conversation community, let me see y'all put in the chat if you are full. Do you feel like you was fed on this evening? Because Donna want to know, did she feed you? She
Right.
want to know, did you get what she was serving? Did you pick up what she was putting down? Let us see it. But yes, it was just, and you are so right. It was such a blessing. It was such a blessing. It was so wonderful. It was just awesome and phenomenal. And yes, the conversation community, they are definitely full. You
Well,
have fed us with
good,
so much. And like I
good.
said again, just being open, being transparent, and then also bringing us in, but then also letting us know what it looks like. And like you said, hey, it looks different on everyone, but this
Absolutely.
is what it looks like. These are some of the signs that you can be looking for. And then you know yourself if something just ain't right.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then
Hmm.
too, let me just say this because I know we're on time. um Setting boundaries is very important in
Yes.
your healing journey. Whether you're healing from depression, whether you're healing from a divorce, whether you're healing from a troubled childhood, whether you're healing from things that are currently happening in your adult life, setting
Hmm.
boundaries is key. I
Yeah.
don't care if it's your family, I don't care if it's your friends, your co-workers, your husband, your wife, significant other, whomever. Set your boundaries. Stick to your boundaries and don't let anyone take that away from you because that is your safety net. That is your security. That is your safe space. And if
Yes.
you don't have a safe space, you have nothing. You have nothing. You have got to be able to vacate away from everything and everyone around you to just breathe.
Yes.
You have got to be able to vacate from everything and everyone around you to recharge yourself,
Hmm.
focus, and to recenter.
Yes.
Balance is very important in life, period, but especially when you're on your healing journey. You got to
Hmm.
have balance because even when you're on that journey, even when you're going through that process, you're still going to be pulled in numerous directions. But you have to be able to have that one thing that you can come back to and still be centered to recharge yourself, refocus, and then be able to give yourself back to yourself as well as
Yes. So true. So true. You are absolutely right. And I hope y'all heard that, TC community, because again, Donna done dropped some more gems. She done dropped some more stuff on you. So I hope that you were picked it up. They have definitely told you that they have been served, that they are full. And so, conversation community, if you would like to connect with Donna, you can connect with her on IG at Beautiful Lady 35, or you can connect with her on Facebook. You see all of her information down here on the show. Also, I will post it in the show notes under the show. Other ways you can connect with her. Most likely she'll be tagged, so just tag her. I'm pretty sure she will go through the comments and she will answer any questions that you have. But definitely, like I said, we really want you to know that you are not by yourself and you are not alone. That if
absolutely
you are experiencing any of these experiences or just some of the symptoms that we've named and you're wondering, reach out. Reach
right.
out to any one of us or reach out to Donna and talk to her and say, "Hey, I'm experiencing this, you know, I just want someone to talk to," or, "Hey, thank you so much for sharing your story, for standing strong in your story, being confident in your story, and using your voice, and knowing that your voice is so powerful because of
Yeah,
your voice. You allowed me to begin my healing journey, or because of you and your voice, you let me know where I am in my place, and knowing that I can do it too,
absolutely.
to give you the courage that
Absolutely.
you too."
No matter how many times you start over, you could, after listening to this tonight, you could be like, hey, tomorrow is my day. And you may wake
Hmm.
up tomorrow and be like, I don't feel like it. I'll try again Saturday. You may
Yeah.
wake up Saturday and be like, you know what? I'm gonna wait till Sunday. Sunday starts a new week. And it may not happen Sunday. But
Yeah.
whenever it happens, just know that you have to keep showing up. You have to keep
Hmm.
doing the work. What I tell myself is write the vision, make it plain, do the work, and give yourself some grace.
Yes.
Give yourself some grace. You need
Yes.
self credit for what you have done. I don't care if it
Mhm.
said, do 10 steps, but hey, you did two. There's two more than you did yesterday.
Yes.
So
So true.
give yourself that same repeated apology, or that
Mhm.
repeated acceptance of an apology that you accept from other people.
Yeah.
Apologize to yourself,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then take the necessary steps to move forward.
Mm-hmm. You're so right. So right. And so with all of that, again, TC community, it has been so awesome and so amazing. You know that we are here every Thursday. So the days did change. So if you have been looking for me on Wednesdays, we have changed days to Thursday. So we are here every Thursday, same place, same time. And we are definitely having open, transparent conversations because again the conversation has been designed and created for you so you can know that you are not by yourself, that you can listen or hear someone who has had similar experiences and know that you too you can make it through, so you don't have to suffer in silence. You can make it out. You can do this. And
Absolutely.
so you just reach out. Like I say, definitely you have the way that you can connect with Donna Cole. Of course, you always know you can connect with me. But again, I just want to tell you all, thank you so much. Donna Cole, thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming on the conversation, feeding the conversation community. And again, just being the true servant that you are. Just
Thank
being a servant.
you.
So
Thank you.
we thank you so much. And again, we got to have you back.
Absolutely. Lady,
Yes,
lady
yes,
here.
yes.
Absolutely.
And before we go, I just want you to show the conversation community your shirt. What your shirt say?
So my shirt says she shows up.
All
Compliment of Miss Andrea Flintroy. She shows up. And
right. Yes.
shown up tonight. We appreciate all of you for showing up here with us tonight. And remember, before you can show up for anybody else, you have to show up for yourself.
Yes, definitely, definitely, definitely. Look, you trying to take my ending.
Hey, I didn't even know that. So again, that's God working this thing because I didn't know that.
Yes, yes, indeed. All right, conversation community. Y'all have a great evening. Have a good night. And just as Donna said, just remember to show the world who you are and don't allow the world to tell you who you are. So, y'all have a blessed evening and good night.
Good night.